For over 5 decades, the Rolling Stones have been hailed as one of the greatest rock bands in history. Their music shaped generations, their wild tours became legendary, and their frontman, Mick Jagger, was the face of rock and roll itself. But behind the fame, fortune, and flashing lights, life in the Stones wasn't always glamorous. Now at 87, former bassist Bill Wyman has opened up about what it was really like working with Jagger, and why, even today, many couldn't stand being around him. The early days, a dream that turned complicated when Bill Wyman joined the Rolling Stones in 1962, he was stepping into what would soon become the world's biggest rock phenomenon. The band's chemistry was electric, and fans across the globe were hooked. But while the Stones seemed like a tight-knit brotherhood on stage, behind closed doors things weren't so simple. According to Wyman, Mick Jagger's ambition and need for control often clashed with the spirit of collaboration. From the earliest days, Mick had a clear vision of how the Stones should look, sound, and perform. While this drive made the band a global powerhouse, it also created tension with his bandmates, who often felt overshadowed or dismissed. The Mick Jagger personality Wyman described Mick as brilliant but extremely difficult. On one hand, his charisma was unmatched. He could electrify an audience of thousands with a single move. On the other hand, his ego and perfectionism made him hard to work with. Wyman admitted that Mick often wanted things done his way, and his demanding nature left little room for others' input. Bandmates like Keith Richards famously clashed with him, but even the quieter members, including Wyman, often felt frustrated. Mick had this way of making everything revolve around him, Wyman revealed. Sometimes it felt like we were just backing musicians in his band. The fame factor as the Rolling Stones became bigger than anyone could have imagined. Jagger's fame only amplified these issues. Suddenly, he wasn't just the band's singer. He was a global superstar. Wyman explained that this often made Mick feel untouchable, and his decisions sometimes caused resentment among those closest to him. There were stories of band members waiting endlessly for Mick to arrive at rehearsals, or watching him take credit for creative ideas that others had contributed. To outsiders, the Stones looked unstoppable, but inside, the strain was growing. Why Wyman finally walked away by the early 1990s. After 3 decades of playing alongside Jagger, Wyman had had enough. The relentless touring, the arguments, and the lack of balance in the group pushed him to retire from the band in 1993. He admitted that while he loved the music, he no longer wanted to deal with the tension that came with being in Mick's orbit. Looking back now, Wyman doesn't shy away from saying that Mick was the hardest person to deal with in the Stones. Still, he acknowledges that without Jagger's vision and determination, the band might never have become the legends they are today. Fans react to Wyman's honesty. When Wyman recently spoke about his experiences, fans were stunned by his blunt honesty. Many had long suspected that the Rolling Stones' success came at a personal cost to its members, but hearing it directly from Wyman confirmed those suspicions. Some fans sympathized with Mick, pointing out that his relentless drive is exactly what made the Stones so iconic. Others, however, felt a sense of sadness, realizing how much tension brewed behind the music they loved. A complicated legacy in 87, Bill Wyman's words serve as both a tribute and a warning. He acknowledges Mick Jagger's brilliance and his unmatched stage presence, but also makes clear that being around him was often exhausting. The Rolling Stones remain one of the greatest bands of all time. But as Wyman's revelations show, the path to rock immortality wasn't built on harmony. It was built on conflict, ego, and the relentless push of one man determined to stay on top. And perhaps that's why, even after all these years, so many who worked closely with Mick Jagger admit that he wasn't the easiest man to stand.